Alright guys, here we got an old Craftsman 6 1/4 horse. This is actually a, I don't know, you consider a legit Craftsman. It's you can see it, Sears Roebuck and Company. This one's actually got some years on it. 6 1/4 horse. It's a Edger Easy Start Performance. We'll see about that, considering its age. But let's see if we can get around here to see the other sticker. Let's see. This one actually has the safety standards on it. Is from 1998. This one we got. I think this is one of them that we found. There's like 3 of them. I can't remember if this is one of them. Maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember. There's too many mowers, but I know we got it for free. I just can't remember exactly where at. But I thought we had a really short video on this one a while back, and then it kind of got shoved to the side. It had we primed it. I think we primed it and got it to run because it's missing a fuel line. It was also, I think it was this top. Yeah, it was the top bolt. The muffler was loose. Took this bolt out, and come to find out, this bolt was actually snapped off in the cast aluminum. And drilled it out best we could. Got this one to screw in without tapping it. There's still a little bit of threads left, and we got some of it out. We went smaller than the bolt head and got some of it out. And this one, I had a spare bolt, got it to go in. It wasn't too happy, but it went in there. So we'll see after we get it to run and idle and see how happy that bolt is. If it's not, then I'll figure something out. We'll tap it and go from there. And it was setting when we first got it. I think it was setting. It didn't have a plug in it because I had to put a plug in it. And I think the carburetor was something was wrong with the carb, and we had an old motor. Took the carb off, put on this one. I think we primed it and got it to start because it was actually missing the filter's like shot. It was actually missing the fuel line, where it hooks up here from the tank and then runs to the back side of the carb. I bought a roll fuel line for it. I liked it because the tires, all 4 tires, are in really, really good shape. The deck, it's filthy, but it's solid. So hopefully we'll be able to get this one to run. So the only thing I've done to it is wrestled with that bolt some, put a plug in it, and picked up roll of line, which I was actually surprised because usually the fuel line I have to get from Advanced Auto or one of them, and it's usually, I think last time I bought some it was like right around $1 a foot. Lowe's actually had this. Well, of course it's smaller diameter. It's 1/4 inch inner diameter, 1/2 inch outer diameter. It was 10 feet for $7 and some change. So I was really surprised. I forgot about the air filter while I was there. I forgot how nasty this one actually was. And it doesn't have a blade, and it was missing this piece. So this is the style I have, but I'm not sure. I'll have to double check because I got a couple new blades down in the basement. Hopefully one of them will fit this. If not, I'll see if I have the other style, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it'll fire up, because if it fires up and runs, then we're going to see how well this deck cleans up. And once you get through all the dirt and everything, it looks like it'll clean up pretty nice. So I'll get this on a stand. We'll get the fuel line on and throw some fuel in it and see what happens in just a minute. Okay, you can kind of see here, right here, that's the nipple coming from the tank, and right on the back side of the carburetor is the plastic one. Unlike the other ones, how they have the brass fitting, it sticks out. This one has a plastic elbow on the other side, and you know how plastic is, it gets kind of weathered, so that's the part I'm worried about. And so hopefully it slides on with no problem. And before I cut the line, I'm going to try see if I can slide that on there without getting in your guys' way. It's kind of odd because instead of being angled straight out, it's kind of angled down. So let's see if we can get it on there without breaking it. Yeah. I went a little smaller diameter because I can't get a, without taking the carb off and doing it, I can't get a, one of the little snap clamps on it. So I went a little smaller, hoping it don't leak, because later on, if everything works out right and we get it cleaned up, then I'll worry about that. As long as everything fits tight and doesn't leak right now, I'll be happy with it. Then you can kind of measure up your line where you need it. Get a knife. And make sure it's not going to kink. We'll try right there. One of those snips. There we go. Hope that's the right size so I'm not wasting it. And there we go. Nice, tight. It'd just be nice if it went straight, more straight of across instead of, looped down, but as long as it works, just have to make sure it's real close to where the bolt comes up for the block casting to hold the motor down to the deck. It's like really, really close. So I may end up, let's go ahead and do it now. Take just a little bit more off of it. Shouldn't kink it, and it should get us right above that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, yeah, so now you can see it's, I don't know if you guys can see, you can see it in there. So now it's not touching the casting and it's not touching the bolt. This is one of the clamps. That's why I got to get some new ones. It's one of the clamps right there, one of those snap clamps that had a piece of hose on it. I can't remember if it was unhooked from the tank or it was unhooked from the carb, but that's one of the clamps that was, whichever end it was, that was holding it together. That's the clamp that was on it. So I'm sure here in a junk pile somewhere, scrap bin there, I should have one. And we are full, I believe. Yep, full brand new oil already. So what we gotta do now is I'll throw the filter back on. Now with these filters, I'd like to have a new one to throw on it now. I don't know how well it's going to breathe with this crap in it, but they have, if you can see the end, it's got a flat one and it's got three that grip. So the flat one, you'll see a big slot right there. That's where that flat one goes in. Facing out, and you just give it a turn, it locks in place. Alright, so now let me get it down off the can there, and we'll throw some fuel in it and see what happens. Did almost forget the other piece I had to replace was a little plastic nut that holds the handle together. Somebody had was missing that plastic wing nut, so they had the that hose clamp you see right there. They had that on there holding it together, so the bar was just as floppy as it could be. I had a spare. It's kind of close to the other one style anyway, so close enough for me, right? It's free, beggars can't be choosy. Everything free has its little issues. Alright, well, gas is in it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Stuff out the way. Hopefully this primer works. Doesn't seem to be doing much. Good thing is, it doesn't appear to be any gas leaking from the hose, so that's a plus. Still free. Alright, let's give it a shot. See if there's enough gas in that bowl yet or not. Smacking this fence. Try priming her some more. Nice enough gas. I think the carb that's on this one is actually the spare one that I had. So that's not good. Old school it. Prime it and see what happens. Look at that. The carb should have been primed up by now. Or the bowl anyway. If that air filter is blocking it off, you may not be able to breathe through it. It's pretty dirty. So. Primer's working. Just try without the air filter on. Yep, alright, let's prime it. Primer up and see what we get. A little bit. Right. Give her a shot now. Hopefully fire up and idle. Damn it, I ain't getting no fire. Has to have some ether. Looks good. Well, she's grounding out. It could be coil. Need to figure out if it's firing. Let's give it a couple more cranks. Crap over. Alright, find some tools and we'll dig into it. Alright, well, we're back on the can to look at it, so that's never good. So we definitely have an issue going on inside the carburetor because the bowl is right here. Gas line is still hooked up. There's no shutoff valve for the fuel. So that gas should be coming out. There's your float. So we're not getting any fuel circulation. But granted, should have started when we primed it. It should have at least tried to start, so I don't know. We'll see if we'll go from there, but that, you should be able to get gas to come out, and it's not doing jack squat. And the fuel line, it's gravity fed naturally, so the fuel line for the carb is lower than the tank, so it should gravity feed to fill the bowl, and nothing's coming out. So what we're going to have to do is carburetor is definitely going to have to come off, and I'm almost positive I do not have one that style. So what we're going to do there, we'll have to buy one. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. I'll get this bowl back on so I don't worry about nothing getting up in it. Of course, I guess it could be the screen inside the tank. Yeah, the plug's not even wet, so maybe primed it. You think it would be, you know, it definitely needs a new plug. Wouldn't hurt, but I was hoping it was at least wet. So if it was wet, we'd know either flooded or not firing. And I broke my tester to see if it was getting fire. What we're going to have to do is get that carb off there and go from there. What we can do is check and make sure fuel is coming out of this tank. Yep. So the fuel is definitely going from the tank to the carb, so the needle in there with the float must be stuck, or one of the ports are stuck or clogged. So let me do some digging around. I'm almost positive I don't have that carb, but I'll take a look. That's the spare one I had on it. Here's the old one. It's the same way. It's the needle. Move the float, the needle's stuck up inside it. So this one, there's no repairing it. This thing's shot. The float's bent. This has the brass float and it's bent. So it's the one that was on her. I mean, it's crazy because it still moves free, but the needle's stuck. You can see all the rust and everything in it. So you can see why they threw it out. Still, man, change the damn carburetor for 13 bucks, 14 bucks, whatever it is, beats paying a couple hundred for a new one. So kind of screwed on that. I'll have to get that carburetor off, get the carburetor off and see what's holding it up to keep fuel from going in, and we'll go from there. And so unfortunately this is going to have to be part one, because I'll definitely have to order, get online, find a carb and order a carburetor for it. If I can't get it cleaned up, I'll try to clean it up real good first and get the clog out of it, and just clean this deck up real quick and see what it looks like. Get some of this stuff out of the way and we'll hose her down and see what we got. So not bad. Considering all I used was a garden hose and a toothbrush. I had no soap out here with me. You know, usually we use power washer, but it's still down in the basement, so I haven't got it out. So you can see, like, up here along the block, you know, it's a little oily from being used over time. You see it comes off. That's just from rubbing it with the toothbrush, and it's coming off. And the stickers all still there, all came good and clean. You know, on the top, so it'll clean up really nice. I didn't do the tires, but you go to clean them. I know a lot of people recommend do not use a power washer, and I get where they're coming from, especially with this style, with the way the air filter is. It's real easy to soak them. You know, you trash your filter, or you can fill your exhaust up with water, and then if the valve's open, you get water in the cylinder. Or, you know, I totally get it, but we always power wash them to an extent. I can't say always, but a few of them I have that's been what you consider kind of like delicate, like this one, because of the air filter system. We use the hose on low and get some good like Dawn liquid detergent. It's a real good one. It's a good grease cutter. That way you can get, you know, just use an old toothbrush. You get up in there scrubbing around, which you can see if you've done with video of when we was working on that K20, when we pulled the motor out and cleaned the block up. It's exactly how I done it. And just used a degreaser on it, toothbrush, got all the nooks and crannies, cleaned everything up. You know, didn't have the money to take it to the shop and have it, you know, everything professionally cleaned. And money's tight. It's money's tight. You do what you got to do. But I still think, it'll run. We'll get this carburetor issue taken care of. I'll get it off. I don't know if I'll be able to get it off today because we're actually getting ready to leave to go camping. But we'll address this carburetor. It seems like the majority of it's right here. You know, since we took the bowl off and no gas was coming out. But I think it's going to clean up really nice. These tires are still like brand new. And so we'll get that. Once we get it fired up and running, then we'll address the blade issue. And so this will definitely be a two-parter since we're kind of in a pinch for time. And thanks for watching. And see you in part 2. Alright, I was thinking about it. And I was thinking, you know, I know we made a video of this mower before. It's like the next day since we last messed with this mower. It's like 8 in the morning, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, man, you know, I know we messed with this mower before. So I went back through some old videos, and I think it was like now 7 months ago or so, and found it. And this one, we did get it for free. And when I got it and picked it up, it had no plug in it, and see, it had that twisted off bolt in the muffler, no plug, and just like a little snub, a piece of fuel line, and no gas cap. So I knew I remembered seeing it before. So we do have a video out there of this one, and it ran kind of crappy. Ouch! It ran kind of crappy, and this is the one that. We couldn't get it to run at first. The carburetor I showed you to an earlier part of this video, it was the original carburetor off of it that had all the damage done to the float, and the whole intake, we took the intake off, and it had all that looked like water in it. And but we did get it to run. It ran kind of funky and weird, but it ran. And so it does run, but it didn't have the blade on it. The piece was already missing that the blade hooks to. So it's promising to know that it did run. And but the deck still did turn out kind of nice. It still needs a good scrubbing, but it's solid. But I just wanted to add that because there's a video out there of it running already, and I kind of thought there was. And so I went back and double checked, and so I just wanted to add that. And so the mower does run. It runs kind of crappy right now. Well, now I don't know. I didn't get it to start, but I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there just in case somebody watched one of the previous videos and they kind of recognize this mower, thinking that we're just, you know, not making a video to be making a video. But so it's definitely got some hopes in the right direction. So we'll get it together and see what happens. And but right now I'm getting ready to pack everything up because we're heading out to go camping for the weekend. So when we get back, we'll get on it and see what happens. So that'll actually be a part 2, I guess, technically a part 3, since we made one video of it already, but I didn't have it listed as part 1 because it started. But so this one will be part 1, I guess, but there is a previous video of it out there. I just wanted to make sure anybody who's watching this knew that. And but thanks for watching. We get back from camping, we'll get on this one, and then hopefully I'll also have all the parts I need for the red Craftsman that we're doing. The wheels did come in, and so we got the wheels for it, and we'll hopefully get on that one too. Alright, you guys have a nice weekend. Thanks for watching the video.